Hey everyone, welcome to the 11th episode of the LOWBAT Podcast. This week our guest is an interesting individual by the name of Raytheon Dunn. Raytheon does a little bit of everything that's creative, as you'll hear on this pod. We talk about his new track, Sundancer, for his project called Foreign Color, his recent art pieces he created, and a few other projects he's been working on during the pandemic. He also gives us a peek into his personal life, being a husband, father, and educator. We enjoyed our conversation with Raytheon and learned a lot about him in the process. Check the episode description for all of the links to check out his work. Drop us a like, comment, shoot over a message, and tell a friend if you like what you hear. And be the first to know when new episodes come out by following and subscribing on all our platforms. And now, our chat with Raytheon Dunn of Foreign Color.
You are now listening to the LOWBAT Podcast,
a weekly show highlighting members of our local creative community and featuring topical conversations with members of the LOWBAT production team. We're your hosts, Casey House
and Fabian Castaneda. Through our own experiences as musicians, visual artists, and business owners, we saw an opportunity to provide a platform for people just like us to deep dive into what it's like to pursue a lifestyle outside of the norm.
Without further ado, welcome to the LOWBAT Podcast.
I swear y'all can never keep your cool.
Stop! You keep looking at me.
Eye contact.
We have the
Just stop
same
looking at
intro
me.
every week, and for some reason it gets funnier and funnier.
Somebody
every time.
looks at me and I can't help it.
It's the awkward
Like-
in me. I'm sorry.
They're
Just don't
looking at you.
look at me.
Yeah.
Just look over you.
Yeah,
like
just
trying to-
look anywhere else.
It's like trying to be quiet during like when your teacher's like, you need to be quiet.
Yeah.
And then you just
And
look
then
at your
just-
classmate and you're just like,
Or like,
I can't do it, man.
or like sleepovers back when you were a little
Yes.
kid. Everyone like, all right, guys, we're going to bed.
And then someone makes a fart noise.
And you're like, ah!
I'm
Yeah.
just like, dude,
Oh man,
was it real?
Hey guys, how is everyone?
Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
Casey and I are joined here by Amanda,
Hi,
fellow,
guys.
fellow LOWBAT peep, and also by our new friend Raytheon,
That's me.
of the project Foreign Colors.
Foreign color. I
Foreign
changed
color.
it last night.
Oh,
Let
It's
me-
a
last
single
night.
color. It's
Erase this
You're
S
sorry.
on my screen.
Sorry, I changed it last night. I was like debating.
We
on-
were so prepared.
There's like,
flip the script on us.
the name had like, is that like the first thing I talk about? But like, I guess like the name itself, it was like supposed to be an album from like previous project,
Mhm.
and then was gonna be a band name for the band that was coming after Dear Adamus, but then that changed, and then I had a bunch of names figured out, and then I went like as any band person does, Spotify, Apple Music, Google, Wikipedia, does this person have this name?
Mhm.
And then I saw that people had that name, and then I was like, I guess that works. And I talked to my old bandmate about it, and he was like, you should do that. And I just thought, just drop the S, because it sounds like, I guess, a band of people when it's just me. So I guess Foreign Color works.
That makes sense.
Fair
That
enough.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like
So you're a man of many talents, as I've been discovering over the past week or so.
Oh, my mom calls me a Renaissance man.
that. You are.
That's-
Truly.
That's a great
That's
way to.
it.
So
Yeah.
I was curious about.
Don't
if-
tell my wife that. She's going to be like, she's going to listen to this, and she's going to be like, y'all feeding his ego.
Don't hype him up.
Well,
Don't hype him up.
I'll give you the opportunity to hype yourself up. If you had to describe yourself, how would you do it? Like tell the people what you're about. Putting you on the spot, I know.
Oh my god. I would say I'm just a guy who just wants to live a creative lifestyle, whether that's making art, making music. I'm also writing a book.
Really?
Yeah, I'm about 80 pages in.
Like you're writing it yourself.
Yeah, just by myself. It's called The House of Flames. It's about this person. I feel like I'm not supposed to give it away, but who am I?
Heard it-
No, go
heard
for
it
it.
here first.
It's just about
Inside
like
scoop.
this family this big event happened in this town. They call it the Great Fire, and nobody knows how it happened. And this particular family called the Boswells, their family is the dad's a plastic surgeon, and he like kind of helped everybody physically through the events where people feel in debt to him for what he's done. And then the wife, she is a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, all that in one. And she invented this method that she calls the Boswell Method, where it pretty much takes all your trauma your depression, everything, and kind of just throws it away to where like every tragic event that you went through, it goes away. But they also have these two girls. I forgot their names. One's name is Ava, and the other one's name is I forgot because I kind of work on it periodically because it kind of hits me in waves where I'm just like, let's work on it. I'm out of ideas.
Right.
And I've been writing it for about 3 years now, and I've sent it to a couple of friends, and it turns from this this thing where like they lose this particular child that's kind of like the golden child, does nothing wrong, helps the community, gets good grades, nothing to worry about, and then she dies, and it's all a mystery of how she died, but somehow how she died is connected to the parents, but it's also connected to the Great Fire, and it's all told in this perspective of a boy who lost his parents to the Great Fire, who happened to be, his dad was a detective, so he wants to be a detective. So it's all about this grand mystery of like, how did she die? Who are those parents? How is the fire connected to all of this? And why does everybody feel like they need to praise this family? So it's called The House of Flames because it all started from there.
Dude, as an avid reader, I would read the hell out of that.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds
Cool.
very
Genuinely.
interesting.
It hit me randomly one time. It was like, I think 2018 or 2017. I was just laying in bed and I was watching this show called Queen of the South. You ever heard of it?
I don't
It's
think
about
I
this
have.
woman's rise to becoming a drug lord.
Okay. Sick.
And
Okay.
it comes on USA, but they have it on Netflix. You should check it out. It's got like 4 seasons. And it just hit me. And I just wrote the entire thing from midnight till about 3 a.m., like the short version. And now I'm just buffing out the details and stuff. So yeah, but
That's really cool.
Where do you find the time?
the time to what?
Do anything.
Because you're a musician, you're an artist,
A teacher.
you're a teacher,
Yeah.
you're a family man,
Yeah.
you have a book apparently. I'm sure there's plenty of other things that you just like haven't even mentioned. Like,
Well, yeah, writing an album and working on a project with my old bandmate, and I don't know, I'm just trying to do the things that I'm supposed to do. I
Yeah.
feel like, because for me, you know, I kind of was exposed to like writing music and doing things creatively only up until I got out of high school. The biggest one was Tumblr. I made a Tumblr, and it's funny. I named it dearadamus.tumblr, whatever the hell it is, and then I just kind of like started discovering more art, because the one thing I used to do like in high school is look up abstract art. I would just go look it
Yeah.
up. I'm like, I don't know what I'm wanting to look for, but that's all I know. That's my gateway. But then I start finding these different artists, and like these people are like human. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
Yeah.
you think these people are like,
Out of touch.
yeah,
Yeah.
godly.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I can see their work and I can talk to them. And then that kind of like opened the door. And then music, I didn't start playing music till I was 18.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I had a drum set when I was a kid when I lived in Norfolk, but we got rid of it before I could even learn a simple beat. So, because I never, we got the VHS, it was a blue kit. I remember me and my brother would take the cymbals off and put it on our head and be like, I'm Raiden. from Mortal Kombat and stuff.
And that's what that entire kit was used for.
Exactly. But I didn't understand, because I would have to see it to know it.
Right.
Because I don't know how to read music. I play by ear. And the guy, it was the simplest thing. I'm like 5 years old and I'm trying to do the but I didn't know what he was doing with his foot, because my mom, I didn't think, put up the kick pedal.
Oh.
So I was like, how is he doing that?
is he just like kicking it?
That's what I thought.
Literally
But I
kicking
was
the
like,
kick
I'm going to
drum.
get in trouble if I kick it. So I don't know. And then we moved to Virginia Beach and she had to get rid of the kit. So yeah. And then getting into music was just like, I kind of found people that listen to the same stuff I listen to, like the Mars Volta and who else? Like early like an indie hipster thing, early Imarosa type stuff, or like of course like Circus Survive and things like that. So his name was like Joshua Palenko, and he lived in like a neighborhood not too far from here. And I would just come with him to band practice because I just wanted to see what it was like. And then when I left, they gave me a ride home, and the bandmate was like, "Hey, I have this acoustic guitar. Do you want it?" I said, "No." Because my mom wasn't a fan of like me bringing home random things. And I kept it, and then I just kind of like taught myself how to play guitar.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
stuff like that. So it's just more of like, for me, I'm very like, I'm going to figure it out myself. I'm going to try to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it happen, which
Yeah.
is like how this album thing and writing music happened after the band like finished and stuff.
So I do want to get to the single and your new project, but I want to ask about something that I think would be very interesting for other listeners to hear is you being such a busy person, but such a person who always finds time to be creative anyways. What are some things that you've done to try to not feel burnt out and to stay creatively focused and just keep that energy up?
I have a really hard time with that.
It used to be really bad. Because it's like you're building your own defense mechanism. Like nobody's going to tell you exactly what's best for you, except for yourself. So, So, and I kind of had to learn that over time. For me, it's just like either listening to music, but not listening for like homework reasons, just listening. Like, what is it? Excuse me. What's that station? It's like 88.1. It's provided by like Hampton Roads or something. I forgot what it's called, but I just listen to like easy jazz music. I just watch TV if I can, if there's time to.
Yeah.
Whatever my wife's watching, like she'll watch. She got me into the show. What's it called? 90 Day Fiance.
Oh my God.
There's a guy who's on that show that
It's from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he had a song, and on there he was like, what do you say? He said something like, "Congratulations, you're coming to Virginia Beach." He was
wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
he met her in like either her name was Milan or he met her in Milan or
something like that.
And I don't know if they're still here right now and all that stuff, because me and my wife, we like to, before the show gets really interesting, we're like, do you think they made it?
Yeah.
Do you think they made it? So then
The
we'll
important
start
questions.
Yeah, so then we'll be like, all right, I'm gonna guess these people and you guess these people. And then we
See
get
who was
to
right.
it. Yeah, and we'll see who's right. And then we're like, usually half the time we're both right. Like usually they make it. If they don't, we're like, oh, that sucks. But honestly, I just like to try to go for walks. I go for walks like an old man.
I do, dude. Are we the same person? Because I'm the same way. I
Yeah.
do stress like watching mindless TV of like, because we're not in the same boat, but like creative and also like educational stuff at the same time. It's really hard to balance the two.
Honestly, and like everything on my plate, it gets hard to balance. But like even today, I was like burned out from like, because I work a second job. Because of quarantine, I was just like, I'm not just getting this job because we need the money. I'm getting this to get out of the house.
Right.
Because like being a teacher, we didn't have anything to do for a year.
Yeah.
So are you teaching online right now, or are you in
No,
person again?
we're officially back in the
Okay.
building, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's like teachers would come in our room and like, "Mr. Dunn, you got the $1 million question yet? You got the answer for that?" And I'm just like, I don't know why we're here.
I don't know.
But it's also, they look into it. They're like, the CDC wanted to change the 6 feet.
I saw that.
Yeah, from 6 feet to 3 feet to put kids in the classroom, but also because test scores were falling off.
Right.
Also because kids weren't really doing the work. But then there's like the other. It's like that becomes the reliance of like you got to work hard at home, and a lot of parents were getting upset because their kids weren't doing work when they need that extra encouragement.
Yeah.
But me having a 7-year-old at home, I can do it.
Yeah.
It was hard. Like you try to explain to a kid why a dime is more than a nickel, but the nickel is bigger than a dime.
Right.
So that was her question. And, I hate saying I don't know to her,
Oh,
but I'm not afraid to say it when I
Yeah.
don't know something. My wife makes it seem like she, you got to know this stuff, because kids ask the craziest questions. I was like, I don't think about this stuff.
Yeah.
All I think about is just like, okay, I can get the information, because that's what my dad was. He was like, if you didn't know, he would go look it up so I could find out later.
Yeah.
So
Also, I'm in the STEM field, and I'm taking a lot of like STEM educational stuff as well, and it's really good to tell kids that you don't know.
Yeah.
Like because that's basically science, right? So like,
Yeah.
so it's good for them to also be like, oh, I don't know, like
yeah, because
That's
then
how
it
it
gives
works.
them room to try to figure it out
Yeah.
themselves. Like just on the way to the park today, she asked me everything about my car. She was just like, "What does this do?" I was like, "It's the emergency brake." She's like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Let's think about it.
yeah,
What does emergency mean? What does brake mean?" She's like, "Oh, like stopping." And I was just like,
Mhm.
yeah. And what's an emergency? She's like, it's important. And I was like, so what does it mean? It's important to stop. I get it. And all that stuff. So
good job, right?
but yeah, I just try to relax. I try to just like hang out with my wife and just like not do anything. Like sometimes she tells me like, stop. Like,
Yeah.
you can't. Like the second I feel anxiety or I feel like uncomfortable or doubt, I just text her like immediately when I feel that feeling, because if I keep it, then I'm going to have to fester and live with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if I tell her, at least somebody knows to where they can be aware of it. Like one time I was really upset. I just felt like, artistically I wasn't doing enough, like visual arts and stuff. And she's like, it's the pandemic. What do you expect? Who's going to buy art when they need to feed their families,
Mhm.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like a voice of reason that you're not thinking about because you're just worried about creating and things like that.
Yeah, because like that's like why I get up. Like I gotta create. Like I don't like being idle too long,
Yeah.
And if I do, I like to just be with people that I like need to be with. So like I was feeling like upset and stuff, and then she bought me like a Keith Haring book to like read and stuff. And she like immediately is just like, she bullies me into having a good day. She's just like, no, you're not upset. No, come here.
I disagree.
For real, she does. Like if I'm having like a bad day, she's just like, come here. What's wrong? What is your problem?
I love that.
Yeah, because like I
she
mean,
sounds amazing.
like because the way me and her work is just kind of like she's logic, I'm just more of like emotion.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know? She says we're the head and the heart. Let's start
Aw.
a band and call
Aw.
it that. I was like, no. Like she can play violin, but she doesn't want to because she's like, you do like music, you can do all this stuff. I don't want to show you that. And I'm just
Aw.
like, you still have your violin from middle school. Let's record something. She's like, no. Leave me alone. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. It's I just try to relax and put myself away from it all. Like allow myself time to not do anything, because then that's when my best ideas happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and it's worked out great so far.
I feel like what I'm pulling out of that is instead of searching for the inspiration, listening to things or watching things, taking in media from a studying standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
you're letting the inspiration peak and appear whenever it needs to.
Whenever it
you're like, I
comes.
just want to watch and enjoy and listen and experience things, and then something might just happen, and I'll be like,
Mhm.
oh, that.
Well, that's how this song, Sundancer, came about. It's the
Okay.
first song I wrote for what is now the record.
Talk about a segue.
Yes, transition. I teach my students that. But it's just more of like we hit lockdown
Mhm.
hard. Like first it was me, and I called my wife. I'm like, hey babe, listen, I'm gonna be off for 2 weeks, and she was mad. She was like, oh, you get 2 weeks off? Really?
Jerk. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
literally how she was, and I was just
You
like, yeah,
suck.
I can't control it.
Right.
So then, next thing you know, we get another call. We're out till April, and then we get another call. They're like, we're out till the end of the year, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So then, in the midst of lockdown, it was before my birthday's in 2 weeks. I'm actually putting the song out on my birthday on the 26th.
Happy
Heck
early
yeah.
birthday.
Thank you so much.
And for reference, today is the 16th, so we're recording before, but it will be released on the I almost said 48th, 28th. 48th makes no
The
sense.
How many days are in this month?
On the 28th, so it's before, but it's coming out after. So
Yeah.
just for transparency's sake.
I appreciate it. I hope you guys listen to it. But yeah, it was the first song I wrote, and it kind of was just like we were laying on the couch. We just got done listening to The Weeknd's new album.
Holy crap! It's such a good record.
I didn't feel that way.
I'm
Ooh.
sorry.
I did not feel that way in the beginning.
I am so sorry.
Well, because my wife, she likes to listen to a lot of like, today's hits. Like she got me to like Ariana Grande's music and stuff. She loves Casey Musgraves. So like she'll be like, you got to check out this song. And then we start doing this thing too. Like, albums come out on Friday. So what we used to do is like, we'll put the album on, and then we won't use our phones or anything. We just like play from start to finish, and we'll just like, I like that song. The first album we did it with was Post Malone, and I was like, I don't like this. No disrespect, but it's just like,
Not your thing.
I look at him as an overall, and I'm just like, what are you about?
Yeah.
You know,
He's a weird dude.
He's weird, but he's young, and my wife's like, he's so cute.
Nope, disagree. Strong disagree.
She's like, I wouldn't want to do anything with him except for get food. That's all.
fair.
That's all she said. She was like,
he's a dude that I feel like would be fun to hang out with,
exactly,
and like be homies with. But yeah,
he's a dynamic dude. Like he's very interesting because he comes up with some weird music, but then he also does a lot of like older country hits, and he's like very like
he's like well-rounded.
Wasn't he in like a heavier band before?
Yeah.
He tried out for Crown the Empire.
Yeah.
He tried out for Crown the Empire.
Ethan and I actually just watched a video about that the other day, and we were like,
I did not know. I didn't know that.
If you imagine going back to like old Club Relevant,
or not, don't go.
Yeah, don't do that. It's awful. But imagine just the person that would be there, like the old chunky Devil Wears Prada shirt with like the neon green,
with the long hair,
purple font, long curly hair. His hair was beautiful. I don't know what to do, but I was like, what is this? And he was like stereotypical, like size 3, bought his pants at Hot Topic, and I was like, what? You would have bullied me. Like, what is this? Yeah.
Oh man.
Post Malone, and now here we are today. Like it's very odd.
I think that's the best way to take in music. I've been talking about for a while that I want to find a way to like react to music. Like do like a video
reactions.
Yeah. I think that I love watching those, and I also love what they do for people that for the people that are listening, or for the person listening, I should say, because I've missed out on so much music that I should have listened to way back when I was growing up, listening to like emo stuff and heavier stuff and whatever I would listen to. I skipped so many of the. I would pick one. I'd be like My Chemical Romance. That's what I'm listening to, and I completely ignored The Used. I completely ignored all the bands, the bands that were surrounding it. I just kind of was like, My Chem is all I need.
I remember I was like heavy into Under Oath and scaring kids.
Yeah,
Under Oath completely ignored them.
Just like, man, Jesus,
and that was it. You would like tunnel
But
vision
I want to sit down and I want to like surround myself with the music.
Yeah, I think one thing that's important too is like I watch a lot of music interviews just to hear people talk about their music.
Yeah.
My favorite things are track by tracks and stuff. Just because I'm just
dude,
like
same.
Like I was thinking about doing a track per track of this album. You know, of like everything that every song's about in a way.
Yeah, do it.
Thank you. But
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was like I was listening to Phoebe Bridgers. I listened to that album and I went on like an hour-long walk home from work.
Oh.
And I listened to the thing and I was just like, there's certain parts that I really, really like, and there's certain parts that I need to digest. Or like the last show that me and my wife went to was like the American Music Festival. We saw Thrice. That was who we saw.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite bands, and she took me for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And before that, I had an art event at the American Music Festival. So it's country music, reggae music, not hip hop music, and dashboard confessionals.
Okay.
So, it was this band Moon Taxi, and they're like a up there Imagine Dragons kind of people.
Okay.
So I was listening and I was like, I need to stop listening as a musician and just as a listener, because like I'll be listening and I'm just like, why did he do that? Why did they do this?
That's Casey right there.
You're speaking to my soul, especially because I got into producing a little bit, and because of that, I like it can be a masterpiece of a song. Like everything is flawless. Mix is weird.
Yeah,
I'll write it off and I'll just be like,
yeah. If the mix is bad, it makes no sense to put it out.
Or even if it's not bad, but it's just like not what I want it to be. Like I think about After Laughter, Paramore.
Yes,
and the album beforehand, one of the best mixes in my opinion I've heard ever. Then After Laughter happened, and it's that like kind of thin 80s vibe, which I was honestly I didn't like it. So I was like, this album sucks. And annoyingly, you bring up Emerosa. I after hearing Peach Club, their most recent album, that was the one that I was like, this is Paramore. This is After Laughter, but with the mix I wanted it to have.
Honestly,
and I was so happy.
It's like, because I don't know how they do things. You know, I don't have any like inside person in the music. I do know one person that is in a very popular band that I can talk to anytime, but not that popular like Haley Williams and stuff. Because like her debut album that just came out.
Oh yeah,
everything on there. That
it's so cool.
That album was like a big inspiration of why I wanted to record. And then because I was just like, wow, you really showed us that you're not just Paramore.
Yeah.
You're Haley Williams, and you have the utmost of unique music outside of that band, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Emerosa, like that record, Peach Club, and all that stuff sounded really great and stuff. We actually got to open up for them.
Oh, cool.
We had a weird situation with opening up for them where like they wanted to push the set forward.
Hold on, at Shaka's?
Yeah.
Whenever nothing worked during their set?
I think it was that. It was when they were doing their 131 tour, and they came here with Cold Collective and some other band.
Yes, I remember. I was there. I saw you guys, and then I saw them, and nothing was working on stage. Everything was malfunctioning. The keyboardist, I don't think his keyboard ever came through the monitors at any point.
I don't think so either.
Yes.
And like at one point, they like shut it down and like to like rewire stuff. And the vocalist got like clearly really pissy. And then he went, "I guess I'm just gonna sit here and talk to the crowd." And then he like sat down on the front. I was like, "What's up, guys?" And then just was like giving the mic to people, talking to them. But you could, instead of being like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun," he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be pissy now." And I was just like, "Boy, I get it, but damn."
Wow, I didn't even notice that part because like we kind of like had our reservations about it because like I think we were the only local band on the bill, or I think there was another. I want to say it was like Padfoot or something.
Love them.
I love them too.
Karen.
I'm gonna do it like hip hop show. Shout out to Padfoot,
Yeah,
bro.
really.
Shout out to Padfoot.
Go buy Karen's art.
Yes. So yeah, we sold a lot of tickets for the show, and then what happened? The manager talked to somebody at Shaka saying like they wanted to push the set forward like by like 10 to 30 minutes. And we were like, no. Why? He was like, oh, because they want to get to their next stop. They want to get there early so they can relax and chill and stuff. And we were like,
damn, that sucks.
I hear you, but
No.
Yeah.
Especially when we sold like enough tickets to where like, you know how it is being in a local band. You sell a lot of tickets, you get your spot. You want to make sure that the people that came to see you at the time that you said
you were going to play.
Because if you try to make an announcement over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, 30 minutes early, everyone's going to show up. My bad, bro. Because they still under the impression that they're going to see you at 8:30, not 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we still played our set, which it was really cool and everything like that. The singer came up to me and was just like, "Dude, you got a really cool voice." And I feel like it's the that meme of like, you didn't check out my set.
Yeah. Just good set, bro.
No disrespect, and it's like no disrespect to them and stuff like that. I understand it's like just being like or showmanship or whatever. But the guitarist though, his name's like ER. He was like, "Dude, checked out your set." I'm pretty sure he was drunk. He's like, "I checked out your set." He's like, "You got some pipes, man. You really are killing it. I loved your music." And then he was just like, give me all this praise. And I was just like, "Bro, chill." But it was really cool because like that was a band that I looked up to, and to get to play with them, it was dope. Even though they've been through like so many iterations, just the name itself and the music that they make is so cool. So it was cool to do that, and just be a part of what Shaka's was or what it started to. I don't know. Shaka was just a weird place.
Yeah,
definitely a weird place. I hated carrying an amp up those stairs.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
The elevator never worked.
The elevator, and if it did work, you got too much gear on it. You got to just go up yourself. It was so annoying.
I had one of those experiences where we played with it was a really annoyingly stacked bill. Honestly, it was a tour package of 5. They put 2 locals on. And then, like 5 days before, they added another band that was touring. It was Fire from the Gods, and they just were in the area, and so they just hopped on, and they were like, "Yeah," and we were like, "This is like a festival now. Like, this is 8 bands, and the show
still started at 6.
Show still started at the normal time.
Still has to end at what 11 or 12.
Oh yeah,
and
so they were just like, "All right, all the local bands, you have shorter sets." That was I think the show that we sold the most tickets to. We got to like 70 or something.
Nice.
And we were like, it was a sold out show. It was really cool. And it was Miss May I was the headliner. The rest of the bands were whatever, but Miss May I was the bigger one. And we played our set. It got cut short. We had to shorten it, and then it got cut short while we were on stage.
Oh, love that.
Because the other bands went over their time, and we were the last local. So we did our thing, and there's one song that has a specific riff, and I ended up running into the vocalist of Miss May I outside, and I had a CD with me, and I was just like, I'm gonna see if he wants it, or like just talk to him and see what's up. We started talking, and then I mentioned I was like, yeah, I was one of the locals, and he was like, which band? I was giving him Hellkid, and he was like, oh, hold on. Y'all were the like Southern. I was like, yeah, and he was like, no, I watched your entire set, and I was like, really? And he was like, what's this? What's song? And I was like, oh my god, that's it. That's this one. And I was just like, yeah, like I know what you're talking about.
That
like
feeling, it's like
he was
wow,
he was like actually like into it, and he like took the CD and was just like, I'll check it out. And he was like, I'll hit you up after I listen to it. Didn't, but what he did was already enough. I was like, yo, you like
it's
actually
a compliment
watched
enough,
us?
like because at the end of the day, he's still just a person. And that's what we all realize about these people is like, they're in these bands that we kind of glorify, or we're like, man, they're untouchable gods. But then you're like, bro, you shit and piss just like I do.
Yeah. I think that's something that like kind of came more to focus because of the pandemic, because there weren't any shows or anything like that. So those people were, being more human, more open, like on their socials, just like hanging out on Twitch or like just Instagram
it's a big one
Live.
on Twitch.
And just chilling, and that's just peering into the lives of those kinds of people is kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought me and my wife watched what was it? We watched one live stream concert. It was Young the Giant. I love that band. Love them tremendously. The guitarist follows me on Instagram, and I talk to him, and I'm just like, yo, can I just like sit in the room while y'all write the album? I won't say a word.
Just be a
like,
fly
Can I
on the
just
wall.
exist there?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've always wanted to do that because like my favorite band of all time is Circus Survive. I love that band. I've gotten to chat with them. Their guitarist Colin, he's like a friend of mine now.
Nice.
Like I can ask him about art, anything. He's checked out my album. He said it sounds pretty good. Asked him to mix it, and he was like, he gave me a price, and I said, I'm sorry.
He said, I'm a teacher.
I can't. That is literally rent and next month. So no. But yeah, like he humanized that whole band thing for me. Cause I remember doing their VIP thing for their second album, and I gave him like a piece, and I was just like, guys, I'd just love to give this to you. And I asked him like that question, like, how was it writing your second album? Like what, like for somebody that once wanted to be in that room while you wrote his favorite album, what feelings and all that stuff did you guys have? And they were like, that's a really good question. I got to talk to them, and, Colin, I was just like, hey man, I really appreciate you as a musician. And, but like, what's like, cause I was thinking about, at the time I wasn't in a relationship. I think I was in a relationship, but I was thinking about moving to California to pursue more of like a creative career. And I was like, how's art life in California? He's like, shitty. He moved to Oregon, and I didn't know that he did, but he moved there because he said like, it's all about like, uppity, Instagram. Everything's just like an ad. Everybody's in your face. It's not about what you think it is. So he moved up there, and I was just like, yo, if I can get any other art advice or anything from you, can I like email you and stuff? He's like, no, man, here's my number. So
wow,
he gave me
nice.
So like it's really cool because like it took that whole musicians or like godly thing and let me know like they're people.
Yeah.
It just depends on if they want to be polite, nice,
Or a dick.
or a dick.
Yeah.
And the fact that we found like a mutual connection and stuff like between art, it was really cool. I remember I was selling like one of my art pieces on like the low, and like he shared it and stuff, and I was just like, wow, like,
That's
It's such a good feeling. So first of all, I love your art. Your art's awesome.
Thank you.
So I completely feel that when someone like shares like something, I'll just like stumble across it. I'm like, oh my God, that's my art.
Yeah, like anybody. I get
And
I
like
get crazy. I'm just like,
Yes.
man, that's
Yes.
so cool.
when someone will like share it on their Instagram story or something, or like, go check out Amanda, I'm like, oh my God. Thank you so much.
Like,
Yeah.
especially when
It's
it's like
such-
someone you have no idea who they are. You
Yeah.
have no connection except for they found your stuff.
Yeah, it's a
like
really
people
weird
just
feeling.
like will be. I had the furthest I've shipped something out was to like Germany, and I was just like, how?
Yeah, that's how
How'd you come
are
across
you- How did the pandemic? So I saw that you originally were doing like lots of local shows, right, for your art and stuff.
Yeah.
And then now with the pandemic, how has that impacted your art sales? How are you moving to, or have moved? I know you've been doing lots of like original prints more. Are you still doing like, how is that working with the pandemic?
Yeah, I had a lot of like stuff planned. I like have a little whiteboard above my art desk that was like, it's like a tour date. It's like,
Yeah.
this is going on this month, this, this. And then my wife was like, you better erase that. Ain't nothing happening. And I was just like, can I keep this one? She's like, they're going to tell you tomorrow that you need to, it's not happening. So I erased it all.
You're like,
But we had a lot of conversations about it because like the more I wanted my wife to be included in everything when it comes to like my business, because I'm just like, I like making art. I don't like the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't like the business aspect. Like she works on the tax codes, the shipping. She does all that stuff.
Hell
She's
yeah.
like heavily involved in like,
It's a good partner to have.
yeah, seriously.
honestly, except for when she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I'll be like, hey, I got to go do this. Can you go mail this off to FedEx? She's like,
This is your art.
I'm not getting paid for this.
Right.
Yeah. And then, but we just had an art show. I had one on Sunday and I made like a good amount of money. And then
Nice.
and when I do the art shows, I never keep the money on myself because I feel like I'm going to lose it because I have before.
Ooh.
So I let her hold it because she's just sitting in one spot. So she does the grandma thing and puts it in her boob.
Hell yeah.
Yep. And she wasn't really feeling that good. So I took her to get Mexican. And
It always makes things better, right?
I guess. I'm not the
Absolutely.
biggest Mexican food fan,
Ooh,
but
party
I did
foul.
find what is it? It's like chicken with like bacon bits and rice and a cheese sauce. So good. I don't know what it's called. Actually, they call it chicken and spinach, but I didn't see spinach. I don't know. It was really good.
It sounds like you just ordered a bunch of stuff. You're just like
It's
throw
just-
whatever like you're cutting
Just
up.
put
just
it together. I don't know. But
The grease trap, you're like, put it on my plate.
yeah, so she's heavily involved in that stuff, and she gives me like more perspective on like social media. So with the pandemic happening, I kind of had to like change things up a lot for myself. She got me a Reddit account.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I was just like, "What's this?" And she was like, "Boy, let
She was
me
like,
tell
you
you."
boomer.
Yes, for real. Because like I'm a man of simplicity. If it's too complicated, it's not for me. So when it's complicated, it's for her to explain to me. That's where she comes in handy.
Hey, dumb this down for people.
Of course. So I kind of had to step up my social media presence because, you know, if nobody's going to art shows but still want to get art, the only way they're going to know is if, you know, you're putting it out there. And I'm not the type that want to like overly post and be up in people's faces. Art should be organic. I shouldn't be, I shouldn't be trying to, you know, force you to buy this stuff. If you want it, it's here, it's there.
Yeah.
If you don't even want it, could you at least share it? Because that's maybe that person wants it.
Big help.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was really cool because she was just like, you know, teaching me like how to like look at my business part of my page, like the analytics of like when you're supposed to post and how you should post and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna do this series of like playing cards. So I drew out these playing cards and stuff, and then I made prints of it, and I put them out. And we sold half of them in the first 2 weeks.
That's
and I made
awesome.
30. So like, you know, I got 15 left and that was awesome. So now, you know, social media is very important, and it's very important to, you know, get involved with your audience. And I hate treating it like that, but it's like, if I'm going to survive or want to do anything,
In that space, you have to like.
you have to
yeah.
kind of like be a part of it. Cause I call it the infinite machine, like the internet and stuff. Like, my wife will be like talking about something. Her phone will be over there in the room. Like she'll be talking about dish soap. And then the next thing you know, she sees an ad
Ad for
about,
dish
you
soap.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know?
Yes.
So I'm just like the infinite machine heard you, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, you know, I've been doing that. And now that we're getting back into like being a part of stuff, because I was originally saving all my originals for a solo show. My friend Alex, he's really a really dope artist. He's from here. He's an oil painter.
Ooh.
And now he's selling his stuff for like $55,000. What was
yeah.
that? 55000.
That's
and all that
more
stuff.
money than I have earned.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Oh my God.
You know, I never really ask him about his money. I'm just like, so how much are you selling that for? And I'm just like, now I know.
Yeah, oil paintings too.
Yeah.
Are
Yes.
like, I suck at oil painting. I took like when I was a long time ago when I was in high school, I was in the art academy, and like we had one semester that was like oil painting, and I was like, nope, this is not for me.
For those who
You
don't
do.
know what oil painting is, like me,
Oh, oil painting?
I kind of
It's-
I almost forgot because I used to take art classes like in elementary, middle school. So like I
hope
forgot
so.
like advanced. I forgot.
Ooh.
Like,
I don't mean
I
that.
don't know.
Wow.
I don't want to sound like that, but like
I was
it's one
I
of those
was in the
things.
gifted class.
Wow.
It was one of those things where like I forgot that wasn't a well known like what it was.
Yeah,
And it's funny too, because like living with Ryan, shout out Ryan Plesko, unreal artist. He would do these like it was on canvas, and then he would. I need him to explain it because I would watch him do it, still don't know what he was doing, but he would put things on it, paint and such,
Yes.
and then would use a heat gun, and it would make
Oh,
it
yeah.
bubble, and it would add texture to it, and then he would make it
Those
like a
crazy
3D,
techniques.
make like 3D art and stuff.
Yeah,
And I was always just like, I don't know what you're doing.
it's next level.
And I feel you and him are very similar in the ways of just being like infinitely like busy and creative at
Yeah.
the same time. And I feel like you're the exact
One
same
of
way.
us.
Just
one
gotta-
of us.
Join the club.
Yeah.
It's a great place to be because, like, you know, you just gotta, once you find things that you like doing, you want to go deeper down that
Yes.
hole. Like my brother, he's a workaholic too.
Mhm.
He's a personal trainer. He's like kind of like a nutritionist. He does like
Tell him to hit me up.
I know, right?
I need
listen,
help.
he's an iron giant because I'm his brother and Jesus. But he does a good job. He's fair, he's honest, but being his brother, I get a little bit more pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
But he definitely shows me like, working hard and like he's like, I might not because he's a sports guy. When we were in high school, I was the little brother of the track star basketball guy, the guy who did 90 yards to a touchdown, setting the school record at the high school, going to Virginia Tech and only playing football for 1 year. He got all that, like a scholarship.
Wow.
So I had like shoes to fill.
Mhm.
My wife calls that trauma. She's like, you have the little brother black sheep syndrome. I'm like, no, I don't.
Feel that?
No,
Look what
let
he
me go
did.
paint now in the
Yeah,
corner.
I'm gonna go do this right now. So, but yeah, he's a workaholic, and all I can do is just the same. So, like, writing a book, doing music, doing art, and then I haven't really said this publicly, but I'm looking for, or I'm about to start a tattoo apprenticeship.
I'm so glad you asked that because I was looking through your art and I was like, you could be a tattoo artist. This is
Yeah.
absolute. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and like that's been my like biggest endeavor that I'm excited to go into.
Sick. Okay.
Because for me, being a family man, I can't, do things like just like I got to go do this
Yeah.
cuz like I did that before. I had like this really bad time 2 years ago. And I just bought a flight to London and I went for
shit.
a week. So I was just like, I just need to get away. So one thing I like to do, because I've been out of the country twice. I went to Iceland the first time.
Ooh.
And when I went to London, it was the first time I flew by myself. And when I went there, I like to leave my location on of my home.
Mhm.
So I saw that it was like 4,000 miles like away. And I was just like, it's crazy. All my problems are there. And I'm just sitting right by Buckingham Palace sketching.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
It's an interesting perspective.
right, but it's like I needed that.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't need to go all the way to London, but I think I just needed to do something for myself that was so out of character that it would give me a reality check to get back to what I need to do for myself. And that's kind of like what happened. And with the tattoo thing, I kind of need to get my wife's blessing because like it's an endeavor.
It's a process.
It's a process. And to be real with you guys, being an African-American male trying to get into an industry that's, dominated by, a specific race, it makes it very hard for me.
Mhm.
Like, not to say that, certain places, said no to me because of my race. They might have said it because of time, but I have a good perspective of knowing when situations are, not letting me get ahead because of my skin. So I found a place that I'm going to start soon. It's just more of just like getting myself mentally prepared because every tattoo artist that I've talked to, they just tell me like, you got to crawl before you walk, and it's blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of it. So like, you can't just think that, you can just get into this willy nilly. You're either wasting their time, or actually they're like, you're not wasting ours because we know what we're doing. You're wasting yours. So if you're going to do this, you need to get yourself ready.
I think one of the big benefits of that industry, it's I don't want to make it about money, but I mean life is about money, and
at the end of the day it sucks, but yeah,
that's a very like if you can get in, you can make a lot of money daily doing that. Like versus like I feel like art, big paintings, things like that, big drawings are more on like a commission and on a it's just not as frequent. It's not as instant. Like every single day. It's not a job.
It almost
it's
feels
not
like
every day. Like
income.
9 to 5 or whatever. Yeah.
And that was one thing too. I wanted to get out of the 9 to 5 world because like, I can't say much, but my family is kind of expanding in a way. So it's
exciting.
Yes, I can't say too much. We said we weren't going to say too much, but I feel like I'm saying it.
We'll let everybody decode that.
Yeah, y'all figure that out.
Yeah.
If you got questions, hit your boy up.
Yeah,
but don't, because I'll get in trouble.
Use your imagination.
But I just wanted to be more home. I learned a lot during the pandemic that like home is we're the hardest, but it's It's pretty much like I love being there. I love spending time with my wife. I love spending time with my daughter.
Hell
I
yeah.
love spending time with my cats that I'm allergic to. You know, I just got her surgery. You know, she's no longer a lady anymore. So she's got the cone of shame on her head. And she loves scratches. She'll come up on the bed. And I feel like, do you guys have pets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the cone, and now that do you feel like their personality is different completely after that?
Well, Lula had a cone about what?
Yeah,
2 months
so
ago?
Ethan's cat, Lula, is an
Shout out to Lula.
absolute hellion of an individual. But she's only like 6 months old, so she's still a hellion.
Ours
So-
is 8 months.
Really?
Yeah, she was a stray, and she had a hernia problem, which we
Oh.
believe that when she got the umbilical cord, it was ripped out, not taken out like properly.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so we had to deal with that. I was like, you got more problems than me.
Yeah,
there's a really interesting. We have 2 cats. I have one, and Ethan has one. And my cat Daenerys came Daenerys.
From Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
I'm just now watching this show. I avoided it for so long, like how I avoided the Beatles in high school. So many people told me, dude, you got to listen to the Beatles. I was like,
Game of Thrones is better than the Beatles.
thank you.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about the Beatles, but Game of Thrones
you
so
heard it
far.
here first.
Okay.
It's
You're going to get
hot
so
take.
much
Game of Thrones.
hate
I was
mail.
saying, are you canceling
I'm
the
perfect,
Beatles?
I'm
Are
perfectly
you
fine with
canceled
that.
right now?
Yeah.
That's fine. I love Game of Thrones, but
Don't say too much. I'm at the part.
I won't.
Because where am I at? What's the Stark girl's name? Arya.
Arya?
She is with the man of many faces,
Yeah.
and she just went blind. Her eyes. That's where I'm at.
Spoiler.
Okay. There's
Oh, I'm sorry.
there's there's plenty left. That's not really a spoiler.
Oh, shit, I don't know.
Because nobody knows what that really means. Like, even if you're watching the show and you haven't gotten there,
Yeah.
that means nothing. That's
Right,
just
right.
a thing.
That's
that
what I've been
happens, I
told.
guess.
Scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there'll be commercials coming up for HBO Max, and my wife's like, "Don't look."
Yeah, cover your eyes.
Because it'll
That
show
show.
everything.
It's one of my favorites. Clearly, name my cat after it.
I was about to say.
But she's from the streets.
Mhm.
She lived a very unfortunate life. Came up in a really rough situation. I got her when she was 4 months old, and she's very reserved, still skittish, but very like nothing but love and friendliness. She doesn't attack. She just wants to run.
Right.
Lula, privileged little bitch. So being as she's never been seemingly told no, she doesn't understand that concept. So
She's
she
evil.
just jumps up on anything, scratches anything, runs through anything. No bad intentions. She's just having fun. But like she'll like jump up like and somewhere you don't want her, you'll put her down and she'll just be like, anyways, and jump right back up. You do that 3 times in a row. She'll still jump up. She doesn't care. She's just like, oh, I'm down here. I want to go up there. And just does it.
Our first cat's like that. She's older. Her name is Lilo.
Oh. Lilo and Lula.
She wasn't my choice.
You have a Stitch?
No, we have a Robin.
Oh.
Her name is Robin. That's my
Okay.
cat. She's awesome because my wife wanted to do a theme of like L&R names because
Oh,
her
okay.
name's Lauren. She was just like, why don't we give her an R name? And so like Robin was like the first choice because I was just like, I love Batman, but that's not.
That's not an R, obviously.
So we called it Robin with a Y.
Ratman.
You know what I'm saying? Isn't that from like Powerpuff Girls? There's like a guy named
Yeah.
Ratman.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just making an
He
R
was in the
joke, so there you
sewers
go.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, he
Yes, I'm a
I just know
cartoon
Mojo
lover.
Jojo.
Me
Yes.
too, Powerpuff Girls.
I'm a
Did you watch-
diehard Dragon Ball Z fan.
I was-
I've collected Funkos. I have at least like 30 Funkos
Oh,
now.
wow.
That's
And I have
amazing.
like 6 figurines. I have a collectibles lunchbox. My
Hell
face
yeah.
mask is Dragon
Oh, yeah,
Ball
it
Z.
was.
Yep.
Have you played the card game at all?
No, I can't really get into like games. That's the one thing I
Okay.
don't do. I don't play video games.
Oh,
I don't, and I hate it. Like my friend Chris.
Because all your friends do it, and you really
yeah,
can't,
because
like-
he's got
It's
a
a
PlayStation.
weird time in gaming, though.
Well, for me, I don't know. Like, I want to get a PlayStation 5, but I don't have the
Get a
time.
PC.
yeah.
I want to.
Because you can do other things with the PC. It's not just gaming.
Right.
And you can actually get a PC right now. Actually,
Well,
not quite.
no, you can't.
No, I was
can't
gonna say you
actually.
can't.
You
Yeah.
absolutely cannot. You can't.
Yeah.
You cannot get a graphics
So
card
you
right
can't
now.
get a
It's
PC, you can't get a
impossible.
PS5, man. That sucks.
I
You're
want
too
to.
late, dude.
I want to, but the problem is, it's just like I sound so like stoic, so rude. I feel like I'm gonna sound like so like a bigot saying this, but I was like, I feel like the time I put into a video game, I can put into like working on art, working on music, or working on something. Because like, even though my wife's like, shut up, you've been watching those Batman playthrough videos of Arkham Knight, stop playing. So like, I want to. It's just like committing.
It's a time suck, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Because
Yeah.
like my friend Chris, he came over our house during Christmas time. He brought over The Last of Us, the new game. I watched him play it like it was a movie. I was just like, what? Wow.
That's definitely one of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that,
can't-
that
And those
game
are
is
the
a
type
movie.
of games I want to play, like that, or like God of War or Devil May Cry 5 and stuff like that. Like, I want to play stuff like that, but I'm just like,
It's such a like a part-time job though. It
yeah.
really
And I'm
is.
just
If
like,
you actually want to like accomplish the things you want to accomplish, yeah.
I do not play games by myself almost ever.
Yeah.
I only play games with friends, especially with my friend Jordan who lives in Seattle. It's like my way of hanging out
Being
with him.
his friend, yeah.
That's like we hang out just like in Discord, like talking or whatever. But usually we play games, and he streams too, so I stream with him all the time. But like to me, that's my use of gaming. Occasionally, I'll get on and play like Rocket League a little bit or play Overwatch or something. But those games are so much more fun with friends.
See,
It's the same as
I
like a board
rarely-
game
Right.
or like it's a way to hang out with
then
people.
for me, it's probably Mario Kart. We have
Okay.
we
That's
have
fair.
a Switch at home. It's
Hell
my
yeah,
child's.
Animal Crossing.
I'm thinking about getting I was thinking about getting my wife Animal Crossing.
It's amazing.
Couldn't
But
do it.
she's like so against it because she's like, I don't know, I miss Fortnite because she likes playing Fortnite mobile on the
Oh.
phone.
Okay.
But Apple is having like a kind of lawsuit
Oh,
battle
right.
with
Oh,
it.
they're at
And-
war.
But for
Yeah.
real, and my wife's watching it like it's like the debate.
It's like stocks. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's like
she's-
fucking.
Why- she's just like-
boxing
it's
up and
free
down.
on Switch, and then you get controls.
right. But I think she just likes the just
handheld-
like,
It's like-
she
handheld
likes
controls.
just that because you can get it on the Switch, but she's just like she doesn't like the. I guess like how that maneuvers and stuff like that.
It's so interesting.
yeah.
Preferring on-screen controls for not only a shooter, but like Fortnite with the building mechanic. It's like you shoot somebody once, and then they have a fortress.
Honestly, I
There's
feel
like-
I feel like I should have brought her on the show. How much I talk about her, but
Hell,
like this
shit.
conversation,
Let's
like
do it.
this conversation, she would definitely tell you like I just don't like it. That's
Yeah.
all she would really say.
I don't like Fortnite at all. I
But-
can't get into it.
But yeah, just I feel like we had a bigger question and we got all the way here.
We were
But-
talking about Daenerys.
That's how it way before Daenerys.
Yes. indeed.
Remember.
You know what? Let's talk about the song.
okay.
Oh, no, go. What's
ahead.
up?
No, I was just so again with your art. I'm so stoked you're doing tattoos.
I appreciate
but
it.
I
That's
really
where it
wanted
started.
to know. So I was looking at a bunch of your art.
I'm
and
listening. Oh, look at that. That's me.
yeah. So how long did that take? Because that bitch is huge.
It is. It's a 23 by 23. It took me, I want to say, because I've been doing art since again I got out of high school, like to take it seriously. Me and my friend Alex, we started a Tumblr called like Dinesia with our last names.
Hell yeah.
And we would try to like post art every single week or
Wow.
on Fridays, like his style, my style. And then we kind of got to a point where he was learning something different and I was learning something different and trying to learn music. So then I started getting into this style. But I would say it probably took about maybe 2 weeks
Nice.
because
Yeah.
like during teaching on Zoom, I'm just working on it. So like I'm
Oh,
teaching
hell
the
yeah.
kids, but I have this like, my art light on it. I'm just like, the answer's 6. And then just go right back to it, go on mute. I'm just like, boom, boom, boom.
So do you prefer this is obviously well I don't want to say obvious just in case it's not, but you are like usually paper and then do digital or do you
yeah.
because I know you have some stuff that's like Procreate heavy.
I've what was it? I've had Procreate for probably about 3 years, but I kind of left it alone
Yeah, I'm
because
the
I was
same
just
way.
like, I was like so against it. I was like, no, man, you got to if you can't draw it, you can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, no, everything's a
doesn't-
tool.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like my best friend Alex, like he is an oil painter, and like we had a conversation about how you can make an oil painting on Procreate.
It's insane.
And then we kind of had the conversation, or like, is it accurate or is it a lie? And I was just like, art is art.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
it doesn't
somebody likes it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If there's some bigots that don't like it, then it's not for them.
There's definitely some like bias in the art community of like, oh well, it's online. Like I remember, I'm not going to out her. I used to work with this girl who's a phenomenal artist, but she was like, oh, you do stuff on your iPad, and I was like, I mean, yeah, sometimes
It's like sample
whatever.
replacement on drums, Casey.
Yeah, and she'd be like, oh, I couldn't do it. I'm just
That's-
like, and I was like, it doesn't. I mean, I do both. Like I go back and forth,
Yeah.
but like to be like, oh, you do that.
Like you said with the drum sampling, like on this album, nobody plays drums.
All right.
It's
Right.
just a machine.
Yeah.
I just programmed all that. You can't get mad at that. If
Right.
if you like the song, you can't get
Yeah,
mad
look,
at
if,
it.
you, if you're like, oh, this song kind of, and then later down the road, like, oh, but those aren't real drums.
You didn't do
Right.
that. It's like, no, I
Right.
still
I don't
made
like
that.
this anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, you couldn't do that. I'm like, I know I couldn't, but he could.
Yeah.
This program could. But yeah, I draw. I love the relationship between pen and paper. But then also I feel like as an artist, it's good to be well-rounded. Just like a musician, like on this record, I played every instrument other than drums, except for the saxophone and the girl vocals that'll be on the song. But
Talking about that.
and the trumpet and but other than that,
band all in one song.
Yeah, like I did it all. But I learned how to do things digitally over time because the pandemic, I had a lot of free time and I was really using the most of it. I mean, I made countless art pieces and prints, stickers, and then I was like getting into music at the same time. So yeah, I definitely I love it both. I love more of like the pen and paper relationship, but definitely I don't mind doing digital.
Nice, cool. That's what it's not there anymore. But yeah, I really, really like. And there's also, I can't think of. I was looking at your stuff and I was like,
oh, the
this is
coloring
sick.
book.
Yeah,
I wanted to say you could give me like I could be born, and then you could give me my entire life. I will be fed. Everything I will ever need will be handed to me. Recreate that drawing. Wouldn't.
I get people
Never.
all the time. They're just like, that's their the question. Like, how long does it take? And I'm just like,
just gotta practice a lot.
it's a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like you got to be ritualistic with it. You can't
I
just.
can't even write my name clearly.
But yeah, and then that's when the whole like making a coloring book thing came. It was like people were telling me over the internet or just like in person, like, dude, you should make a coloring book. And I was like, nah, that seems kind of whack. And they're like, I don't know. And then like, of course, like my wife is the voice of reason for me. Like if you want to give me an idea, don't tell me, tell her.
Tell your wife.
Yeah. Cause I'll just think like, I don't know.
And what's your
about
wife's
it.
name again?
Lauren.
Lauren. Okay.
Are those
Shout out to Lauren.
still being sold? Or do you have
no,
any
they
left?
sold out. They're sold out. I made 30
Are you going to be
books.
getting more?
It'll be new drawings,
Hell
but
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we have this very small board behind me.
yes.
That we only have things from that graciously Ben and Friends brought.
Shout out.
But we want to fill it with a bunch of things from
Damn.
people that we bring on.
I just shipped off the last 7 coloring books and I had like extra stickers, but my daughter took them in the house.
Okay.
Because I was like, she was like rushing me to go to the park. So I was like, oh, just take them upstairs. I should have brought those stickers.
Hey, whenever you get a chance.
No
I'll
problem.
come. I know where you live.
You
so
do
I'll
do
come.
know where I live? Oh, breaking the fourth wall. This is a house.
This
Yes.
is a house.
This is not a barn. A lot of people think that we're at a barn.
Yes. But
Or is
yeah,
it?
the coloring book was a really cool idea. It was definitely
Seriously.
like crowd. The crowd wanted it. Excuse me.
Well, your art style is it like makes sense.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
It makes sense. It's really, really cool.
What are those? What are those? It's, I guess it's a coloring book, but where it's like felt and then white, like smooth. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I vaguely
keep-
understand.
Keep explaining.
It's like imagine that, but like we'll say all the blue,
All-
all the blue was black felt, like literally like felt.
like
And
a
then-
color and the numbers?
Well, it like separates like
Yeah, it
separates
adds
the colors
dimensions.
and it adds dimensions. So like
have no idea.
you know that this is going to be blue, and it also keeps it from leaking over because it kind of absorbs.
It was
the-
really cool, but it also sucked because as somebody who has no control over like their penmanship, I would then go into the felt, and then the felt would then break apart a little bit, and then I'll have little black specks all over my
I have
page.
I'm gonna
no
have to,
idea
like-
what you're
and-
talking about.
Like you said, you do art.
Ethan,
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't
they
know
know.
what they're talking
Yeah, nope.
about.
Try to find
no
try to
idea.
find what I'm talking about. If you can't, nope.
Where did how
Duncan-
old were
Duncan
you?
said no.
How old were you when you did that?
A child.
child, very small.
Okay.
Like
Did you
5.
like do them in like art class or like just
I think that
At, like,
they
did you grab them at the
that
dollar
there were
store,
there were
like-
Dollar
ti-
store.
There were
Okay.
times where
Okay.
they were just in front of me, and I would be like,
With
"All right, I
markers?
guess I'm-" Yeah, because
Okay.
it wasn't like paper. It was
because the felt
smooth
absorbed the marker.
paper. How do you
What?
what is? What, do you know what I mean?
I know what you're talking
This is
about.
the
smooth
weirdest
pa-
game.
You know how paper has texture,
I
and then
am
there's
aware.
like almost like laminated paper, but it's not
Yeah.
laminated.
Because I want to know
What?
what you're talking about.
I that's why I'm saying like
Did
if
you
you
d-
guys can try to find Duncan's trying to find it. Hopefully he
What?
can. I don't know how else to describe it besides a coloring book, but with felt.
I mean, that sounds sick.
Can I still get it in a store?
Probably you could probably find
Is
that.
it in
It still
Michael's?
exists, I would think.
That sounds like I feel like
appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know either.
yeah.
Again, I was little. I
Yeah.
recollect it being a thing.
I like
Okay.
I
I
don't
feel like
know where
I
I got them.
vaguely
They just-
remember
they just
felt, but I
existed.
don't know. I have no idea.
It just was something that existed. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know how else to describe it, but
Sick.
But yeah, the coloring book.
back to it.
Yeah, this was one that the public asked for. Like, I remember I posted on Facebook, "Hey, you guys, if I made a coloring book, would you want it? And it was like over 200 people liked
Hell yeah.
it. But me and my wife, we have these like business conversations where we're like, 200 people liked it.
But how many people are going to buy
Yeah,
it?
because like 50 people commented, me, ooh, me, make 2 for me, and all that stuff. And I was just like, I posted it in the first week, nothing.
Yeah, you're always
Yeah.
like, you're like skeptical. I was like, you know, like if you get burnt by it too many times.
Yeah,
you're like,
and
all these people want it, and then
It messes with my head
Pre-orders.
every
Yeah.
single time.
Crickets.
Like I sold out of the books.
Yeah.
I only had them for like a month and they're gone.
that's it. That is
All right,
100%.
so I was about to say, is that going to be it? Is it that small?
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Look at that high res
my.
image.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
so all
thing?
the black is felt.
Yep. That
so
is
it
the thing
keeps
that
you
exists.
like in the white.
Yeah, you get really straight lines.
They had like a
Yeah.
rose art one.
with like those
I
shitty
remember they
markers
had, like-
that are
Yes.
thin.
They had
I
like
think it was a like infomercial or whatever.
Yep.
Hey,
and
man,
I remember they
frog.
had like
I do love a good frog.
it was like cheetahs and they were like
Yeah.
pink and orange and
Okay.
yellow. Yeah, they got those.
I feel like
You
I've
wake up
never
at 3
seen
in the morning with like
commercials. I
a
would say
fever
between,
dream, and you're like,
between
what?
George
Drawing?
Lopez like
yeah,
shows.
George
you fall
Lopez, like the
asleep,
giant
it's
heads
oh,
and
right,
shit, and then
it's
you
like-
see that.
That okay, interesting.
And
I was
ShamWow.
thinking, God, I didn't want to go there. The memories.
Sham wow.
I was
Did
thinking
anybody
of like
get
a
one?
physical book.
I never got one.
No,
No.
my mom just gave me coloring books, and that's
Yeah.
how I got into art. It was like I would watch my brother coloring books, and he would color like so nicely, and I'm like, "How did you do that?" He's like, "I just
did
colored
it."
And then like how I got into drawing was like he drew a picture of me. He made me look so stupid, like really like distorted, crazy, and all that stuff. I cried,
Oh,
and I went in my room and I took this paper and I was like, I'm gonna draw him.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent like 2 days to 3 days like writing it or drawing it. And then I showed him like, what do you think of this, Randall? And he's like, it's pretty cool. And then that
Actually,
just-
pretty good.
yeah. And then my mom, I just randomly asked her, hey, could you buy me a sketchbook? She bought me a sketchbook from like Dollar Tree.
hell yeah.
And then I wanted to be an observation artist, like watch
Oh.
stuff outside. So I went to the playground and tried to draw the park.
Oh,
It was so hard. It was so hard, but
You realize how much actually is in front of you.
yeah. And then
The dimensions.
then I
you're
was
like,
just
oh,
like,
God.
okay, I'm gonna stop that. So my brother had Scooby Doo bed sheets, and I had Digimon. So I drew the Digimon sheets,
Oh,
and it was like, okay, I think I can do this. This is pretty cool. And then I started drawing Dragon Ball Z characters, made him Super Saiyan 5. You know, his hair is longer than anything. I remember I broke the printer. And my mom got mad because I printed out so many pictures. It was like 30 pictures in one night and then 60 the next day. And she's like, we don't have any ink and we don't have any paper. Why is that? And I said,
what have you done?
All this.
you see,
I made all this
the art, Mom.
I made
Yeah.
all this. What do you think?
She's like, do you know how expensive ink is?
The Super
Yeah.
Saiyan. It's my brother Corey did the exact same thing when we were younger.
How
He
long
would
can the
just-
hair go?
Yeah, he was. It was just like, what is a Super Saiyan 13?
Right?
yeah.
Let's
Yes.
find out. Like,
Yes. I
He
just
used
got
to
a
do that.
Goku
Just draw it.
tattoo.
Ooh,
that's
Annie.
good
I
too.
didn't finish the other half, but he's doing what my favorite thing is to do is to eat burgers.
Hell
I love
yeah.
burgers.
Yes.
So yes.
favorite burger place?
I don't know. I
Fair.
feel like it's like the one that got away. You just
Uh,
don't remember the
won't- 'cause,
place.
Yeah, it was like this is really good. Then you realize nothing ever topped it.
Nothing.
Fun
Want to
fact,
in the moment.
Hunger Burger.
Hunger Burger.
In
Fun
Philly.
fact: before LOWBAT was a thing, me and Casey wanted to do a podcast where we just ate burgers.
I would love.
Well, it wasn't just burgers.
Well, we were gonna talk. Eat food, but like it was burger.
Dude, it
talk
went through
is
so
what-
many iterations. It was like
I-
because I had Shake Shack and I think the idea
That's a good
mainly
place.
sparked from me having Shake Shack
Uh-huh.
and then him saying what'd you think of it, and I sent him like a 6-paragraph explanation as to how I felt on it.
Yeah.
And then we were like, and we had already talked about like podcasts being a thing years ago,
Mhm.
and then it just was like, yo, we should like review food on a podcast. And it was like, yo, we should get guests to sit with us and we'll eat the food, but also just talk to them. But it was like, that's like, what is the point? Like,
Right.
it was-
that.
there's
It's
so
like
many different things.
and it's weird because even if you did it and you don't know your audience, they would find you.
Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
advice
Yeah.
I got from this. You guys know the band The Deer Hunter?
yes.
They did a in-store performance at Journeys in like
Oh.
2012, and they
Fun.
only did 3 songs. I was expecting a whole set.
Mhm.
No, they did, and I ran up to the singer. He was like at Best Buy. There's like a mosquito flying right there.
Oh, there was a
Oh.
hair that flew right here, and I was like hyper focused on it for
Mosquito
a while.
eater. Hello.
He's got something to say, but
Be gone, thought.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't
I
yell
missed.
at him.
But he felt your wave. He's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
He's like, all right. I'm
Said vibe
chilling.
check, okay.
I'm
He's
going
like,
away.
my bad. You're doing a show, my bad. I'll steal you later.
I hope you can see that on camera. So I'm so hopeful. Okay, Ethan said yes. Oh, I'm
but
so excited.
he pretty much told me, he's like, if you write from your heart, the real fans will show. And I've had that with Dear Adamus. We had this one fan. She's still a fan of like everything I do, and she like comes out to all the shows, and everything like that. She does have a condition. I believe it's Asperger's, which I think is a form of autism.
Yeah.
But like she's a very special girl to me, because I'm just like, if we mean that much to you, then I gotta give you what you want. Which is, I was dating this girl at the time, and I said like, hey, the guys don't really want to do this. I'm still looking at that bug. He's trying to leave. He's trying to
to find his way.
panicking.
He's like, my
don't mind
bad.
me.
I did not know you guys were recording today.
You all are filming today.
Shit, it's Friday again. Oh, God.
But he was. We went over her house, and I played the song I wrote for her, and she absolutely loved it. Her mom like came over to the side of me and was like, "Listen, your band became more important than the Jonas Brothers."
Oh shit!
I was like, "Wow,
What?
can I get that like in an award?"
Can I get that in
Whoa.
writing, please?
And like she had all our merch. She was very obsessive to like the point where it was just like, this is really cool. But I did have to like pump the brakes a little bit, because I do feel like when you're in a band, and especially when you're like a front man, and that's one thing when I was in the band, I didn't want it to be like, it's me. It's about me. I wrote all these songs, because I started Dear Adamus as a fun little project. I asked my wife if I could tell this story, because we were high school sweethearts, but we called it quits because one of the biggest reasons why she didn't want me to be in a band. She was like, you got to do something more practical. So
Nope.
Every band girlfriend ever has felt that.
Yes. But I was just like, you gotta go.
Oh.
So
Music.
she kind of started to realize things were kind of happening for me when we opened up for like Sea Haven and Turnover and Emerosa and
shit.
playing at the Norva and stuff. She was like, oh, and then we got signed to a label for a little bit. So that was really cool. And she was just like, she sent me a text like, that's cool. I'm happy for you. Like she moved on and stuff. But I never wanted to be like my thing. Once members came in, I wanted to be a democracy. Like, I don't want to make the full decisions, because I don't know what the best decisions to make. Maybe you know something that I don't, which I feel like that's how a band can work, but also fall apart, which is kind of how the band kind of fell apart. Because like we were doing a bunch of stuff. Like we recorded a record. It was just me, Chris, and Severin. And Severin, if you guys know him, he was a drummer for the entire time. But then he got into music production and everything. He actually switched degrees. He was, I think he was going to school to be an accountant, but because music showed it more of an interest to him, he switched his degree, and then he got into music, and then he's the one that actually is mixed and mastered this album.
Oh shit!
I was just like, it's the perfect person, because I can work with him, because I've reached out to people. And, they'll give you like a version, and then you're just like, oh, could you do this and do this? And there's too much like in between versus like I can go over to his house
and just work right there.
And that's how I am. I don't like the space between, like I want to be right there, because it's my project at the end of the day. So I want to be able to tinker it, at the same time, because he might have other settings that I might not have myself. So, excuse me. But yeah, so I feel like we haven't even gotten to the song yet.
Yeah. I'll say, like, I wanted, that's a good thing to start. Like,
I'm back with the segue.
Yeah, you're really good with this, man.
Thank you.
I learned
All right,
everything
so
and tonight,
so you said you played every instrument except for
drums. And then there's this track with trumpet, saxophone, and then a guest vocal. Yeah.
Can I ask who the guest vocalist?
Nobody knows her. She's a high school friend of mine.
So it's not. It's not the song that you not. No. It's not Sundancer. Okay, that's you singing.
Yeah, I sing on all the songs.
Oh, it's.
We thought it was
It's so good, and it's like higher. So I get
that a lot. I'm being in Dear Adamus, a lot of people were like, first of all, you're 6'2", and you sing at such a high register.
I love it,
and I'm just like, I don't pick this stuff.
Like, man, I listen to Emerosa.
Can't you like change it?
Like
Claudio Sanchez and freaking Anthony Green were like my idols. So they made me want to sing. Dallas Green is what made me want to learn how to play guitar, and the reason I wanted to be in a band and be, maybe a lead singer was Block Party. I'd never seen like a black guy fronting a band, making music that I liked. And I remember it was like one of the first CDs I bought from Best Buy, ever CDs. And I was just like, when I heard Banquet, that song of theirs, I was like, yo, I got to do this. I got to give it a shot. And like, I saw Circus Survive for the first time on August 31st, 2010 with the Deer Hunter and Coheed and Cambria. That show was absolutely amazing. I was like, I want to do that.
It like just straight up inspired you.
It did. Made it click. I just got out of high school. I was looking for purpose, and there it was on the show, like right there. And I was just like, I have to do it. But yeah, the record, I just kind of went at it. I didn't know I had an album until I had 20 songs. And that's just some. Like, I'm still working on songs. There's probably like 40 songs on my iPad. And that's the thing.
That's such a good issue to have, though.
Yeah, and I'm recording it all on my iPad because I'm a fan of simplicity. Wow. Yeah, because GarageBand's so simple.
Yeah.
Right. All you need is to get the tracks. Get
that's it. And like, I recorded the vocals not even using like a regular mic. I use the iPhone mic. I recorded all the vocals.
It all makes sense now.
So yeah,
that's nuts.
So
you can't tell.
You can't tell. And like my drummer or my friend drummer, bandmate, ex-bandmate, friend Severin, so many titles. It's so crazy. He was just like, "Are you serious?" So on this song, Sundancer, I recorded the vocals while I was waiting for my wife and daughter to come out of Kohl's. So I was in the car. Yeah, for real.
That's awesome.
For real. Because like in the part, there's like a part where I say like you always do. You hear a car passing by. And I'm at the Kohl's over in Town Center.
Hell yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I just was like, the one thing I wanted on this record is I didn't want it to be polished. I didn't want it to be like this crazy great production. Like I can create this sound, that is like $1 million record. I wanted to have its like, bumps and its ugly parts because I feel like that's what makes an album.
Yeah.
So like, sometimes I'm just like, if the take is good, I'm not going to keep doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
But if it takes me a while, then that's when I'm like, okay, either do I keep pursuing and keep trying to dive in to get the perfect sound I want, or do I walk away and come back in 2 weeks or start a different song? And that's usually what it is. But with this song, it started out acoustically and it was very depressing. The first lyrics were like, go and give yourself away. It's better than to waste away with me. And my wife has the original.
That's sad.
Yes, indeed. And my wife has the original recording on her phone, and that was how it was supposed to sound. And the only thing I kept was the chorus, and it was just like I was sitting there because it was like 3 a.m. I said, "Can you go grab my guitar, my acoustic?" She's like, "Yeah." So I did, and I just recorded the whole thing there, and then I just worked on it for a couple days. And then sometimes I would like be like, "Hey, could I just play this song in front of you and like test it out?" She's like, "Sure." I'm like, "But you can't look at me, so I'm gonna turn the light off." So it turned out like that. And then for my birthday, as an early birthday present, she bought me the iRig 2, where you can plug in your guitar and all that stuff. And it's so simple. Put it in. You don't need to do nothing crazy.
iRig 2 is, if everybody needs to look into the iRig 2. If you have an iPhone and you want to record simply, iRig 2 is unreal.
Yes, it's really great, and it gives you exactly what you want. Mm-hmm. So then recording it was just quite easy. Like I figured out the tempo. There's 2 drum tracks on it. There's 2 different drummers playing on it. I wish I knew the names because GarageBand gives you names of drummers and their styles and their kits. Cool. Which for whatever I do next, I want to switch to the MacBook because when you're on the iPad, you get, let's say his name is Anders and he plays like a metal drummer. But you on the MacBook, you can switch the drummer and the kit.
Oh, that's
and then
cool.
the style. So because they got reggae, disco, 60s funk, Motown, indie, pop rock. They have all that. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna figure out which drummer. But both the beats sounded good. So I forgot what the first drummer's name is, but the second one comes in during the chorus, and her name's Nikki, and she's a hip hop percussion artist, so she does a lot of like rim shots and stuff like that. Yeah. Or is it? I don't know. It's like when you hit it on the side,
cross sticks.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, and then the idea of the song really, so one day during quarantine, my wife was having a very, very rough day of being indecisive. She wanted zeros. And this is when we're trying to figure out if places are open. So what do you got to do? You got to call. She's like, I don't want to call. So we drive to the one on Shore Drive. They're closed. So we drive to the one at the oceanfront. Also, I told her, I said, can we go back home to get you some more clothes because it's going to be colder down the beach. You know that.
Yeah.
Cold front, you know? So she was like, no. So we go down to the beach because she was ready to go. And I think she drove. I can't remember. So we go down there. She gets her sub. They burnt it.
Oh,
Not that much.
no.
But for some reason, when she really wants something, it's never as good as it is in her head.
Of course.
And
yeah.
she's also the type of person that wants something that's never around. She's like, I want this Trident gum. And it's like purple and blue. And I'm just like, I haven't seen that since 2002. She's like, well, I'm upset now.
Just like your point is what?
My day is ruined.
For real. And then it's the rest of the day, I just got to figure out how to fix it. But she was having like a really rough day. And somehow we ended up on the conversation of like, what's the point of everything? What's the point of going to school to pay back money that you don't have for a career that you're not sure if you really want to do? What's the point of doing this? What's the point of that? Why do we do this? Pretty much, why are we here? So
I wasn't ready to think that
Got
hard.
real deep, real quick.
listen, she's a heavy thinker, and I appreciate her for it because we have like the best conversations for it. She's literally my best friend when it comes to this stuff because that's one of the biggest things we found our relationship on is just friendship. Like if I can't just hang out with you, there's no point in
It's not
kissing
gonna
you,
work.
you
Yeah,
know? So
yeah.
it's just like because one of the things we did over quarantine is we watched like every anime possible. We watched Naruto. We didn't watch One Piece. I'm not watching 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, understood.
We watched Dragon Ball Super. We watched Black Clover, Fire Force, My Hero, Sailor Moon. That's her favorite. Cowboy Bebop. We watched like
Yes.
all this stuff. She ended up getting a My Hero tattoo. It's like
That's
Deku.
awesome.
It's Deku in an All Might suit in a little onesie. He's like a chibi version of himself.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and she watched Avatar. She'd never seen Avatar before.
That's okay.
Casey. ooh.
God,
Yeah.
I've been convincing so many people to watch Avatar.
Yeah, I'm
me.
like, I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
well,
I have
you
to
haven't
watch
done it,
I
though.
know.
I'm so surprised because like it was part of our childhood. It's like one of those things you had to watch, like Spy Kids. You know?
Avatar is like I've watched enough shows.
Mhm.
No, I haven't. There's a lot that I haven't. But
Stranger Things.
Avatar is like arguably number one,
Yes.
which is stupid because it's a Nickelodeon cartoon. So everybody's always like, bah,
They
but
push
it's
it to
like,
the side.
No, it is that good.
Honestly, if they would have gave it, I feel like we're talking like this is cartoon debates or something, but if they would have gave that show to Cartoon Network or even Adult Swim, you would have got it would have been, in
It'd
my
have been the
opinion,
thing.
it would have probably been up, it would have had a fandom. I mean, it has a fandom, but it would be up there with like the Dragon Ball Z's, the Naruto's. It's considered an anime because I watched an interview about, is the anime the origin of where it's from or is it the content, not by who it's made? So, you know, she loves that show now. She's like trying to get a new tattoo inspired by it. I got her like the Zuko Funko. It was like a special release. So I had to make sure I got it for her and everything like that. But yeah, during quarantine, I got to really get to know her because one of the things before that all started happening is we felt like we didn't have enough time. We just got married, so we thought we had all the time in the world, but life still happens. You still got to work. You still got to do this. You got a kid. You got to, you know, pay your bills. You got things you got to do. So to pump the brakes and get to hear her problems and understand everything that's going on with her, she's just trying to figure it out by living in this world. And I guess the metaphor is just kind of like, we're all just dancing around the sun, trying to figure out our place in the world. And we're just trying to figure it out. And we just want to be loved. Because I think I say that in the song too. It's like, you say it's all you want is love. So it's just kind of like, this song to me is just more of like about my way of saying like, no matter what you do, I'm always going to love you and you're going to figure it out, you know, whatever. Because like right now she's debating on continuing with her career in optical. I'm not saying her job position because she'll yell at me because I forget it every time. It's like what's that word? Expialidocious. You know that word, that really long word, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's what her job title sounds like to me.
Okay.
It's like ophthalmical technician assistant. If I said that right, sweetheart, please I tried, but it's either that or she wants to be a teacher, and I'm just like, she's debating on where to go, and I'm just kind of like, just whatever you want to do, just do it.
That's awesome.
We'll figure it out. So yeah.
And what do you want to do with the song, the album? Like, is this an online thing? Are you looking to play shows? Well, obviously this is all post-COVID, but like, what do you want to do with it?
For me, it's all about just putting the music out first and just hearing, I guess, just like in the coloring book way. If the people like it, then I'll do whatever is kind of needed. Kind of like a band would. Like, if we did a live stream, would you guys check it out? If we dropped these shirts, would you check it out? It's kind of like that. But I guess the problem with me is just that with Foreign Color, it's just me.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Like, so if you did plan on playing shows,
I would have to find people to, be a part of it. Because, like, I wanted to do an album release show, and then life kind of like never changed where it is right now, where like bands are just doing the smallest of the smallest things and live streams. So I was just like, when the time is right, I'll probably do something. But I think right now I just want to get the music out. And I recorded this all last year, and I was just like, I feel like with it being a year since like quarantine happened, but also like I started this, it'd be cool to put it out.
Yeah.
So the reason why there's no release date yet is just because we're still mixing.
Okay.
We have this song's finished, and I think the other song, the title track of the album, which I can tell you that the album's called Doppelganger.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
No specific reason why. I just
Cool
like the
word.
word.
Cool.
Well,
It is a good word.
well, the reason why is there's a song on the record. After I read this book, so you guys know the rapper Logic, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he wrote this book called Supermarket, and I read it. I didn't expect it, and I really liked it. I don't like lengthy books. Even in the book, he talks about, he's like, the character is like, I hate books like Lord of the Rings, because he'll take 10 pages to describe
One fucking, like the color on the
fucking
wall.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, I don't need that in my life. So, and it was cool too, because he's talking
Say,
about like,
that wall, it was blue. Deal with it, anyways.
exactly. He's like, the blue wall, not the epic shade of blue that makes my emotions feel like it brings me back to my
That's how-
childhood.
One of my favorite authors is Stephen King, and still sometimes I'm like, bro, you fucking get on, dude. Just say it.
Yes.
It's fine.
So like, I literally really love that. And then he was talking about like regular stuff like Mac DeMarco and like Tame Impala. So it was cool to have like pop culture
Hell yeah.
reference and stuff. But the book was short. I think it's only 19 chapters, and it has like a part 1 and a part 2. It's very reminiscent of Fight Club, but
Okay.
the character has himself. I don't want to give too much away if you're going to read it, but it's kind of like he plays with the idea of like what's real and what isn't.
I love that.
And then I wrote the song kind of in the perspective of that person, where I called it the doppelganger, where it's like the chorus is, or no, the verse, one of the verses goes, as you wake from a dream, something about like you see blood on your hands and you just ask yourself, was it you or was it me? But you're talking to yourself. So it's,
That's sick.
felt like that song was very like, I was like, yeah, this is really good. I was writing it during Thanksgiving. So like, I took my kid to the park, and I'm just over here with my iPad, like, just like, oh God, how can I make this? Oh, cool. Oh, yep.
You're doing great on the swing over there.
Great. Don't fall again. Keep your shoes on. So yeah, but I think for me, I just want to put out music.
Okay.
I kind of went through a little bit of a depressed phase with like the band breaking up, because it was like, this is a relationship I was like having with some people from 2012 with this name. Like, we got an award from the Sandler Center, Artistic Excellence in the Community.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
That was really
Wow.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe that we got something like that. And then, to play on like that, it's like whatever, I forgot what it is, but it's like a Good Morning America for Virginia Beach or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it's
I
called.
vaguely
The Hampton
remember.
Road Show?
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what it's called. We were doing that stuff, and like, and then we got signed by this little label that was like giving us all this like attention and time and telling us like, yo, you guys got something here. And like, we were only doing like a short release with them, but we were just like, yo, we're on to something here. But then things kind of like took a turn for the worse, because I felt like one thing I've learned about being in a band is when there's too many cooks in the kitchen, nothing gets done.
Mm-hmm.
And I love each member to death. Like, I still can talk to any of them, because there's been different people in the band, but the main two were Chris and Severin. And Chris has a lot of street smarts when it comes to music, and Severin has a lot of book smarts when it comes to music. So they would butt heads a lot, and I would have to sometimes be the parent, being like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like, hear this person out. Hear this person out." It never got resolved, but no disrespect to them. They're both doing great with what they're doing. But it kind of sucked because we had this really kind of, I would say, like a little bit of a fight because we started a new band. It was called Reverie Dream. And we had like so many demos and it was sounding so good. One of the songs makes it onto this record. Oh, cool. I kind of talked to the guys about it. I was like, is it cool? I'm going to change it up a little bit, but your part's still here. Your part's still here. All that stuff. I just want you guys to know. And I kept the same title of it. But it just kind of sucked because I was like, I've given so much time to this band that was supposed to be like something special, but you get older, we were starting to get careers and jobs and wives and buying houses and stuff. And we kind of just had to let it go because you can only, keep it going for so long. So then that's when I kind of found and the pandemic really helped with that because then I was like, here I am. I can record music and not have to send it to a bunch of people to see if they like it.
That's true.
And one of the biggest artists that I found myself liking a lot over the past 4 years is this band called From Indian Lakes. They're like my utmost favorite band next to Circa or pretty much above because it's just him. It's his brainchild. And he's written, I think, like 5 albums. Of course, he has the opinions of his friends, and some of them play on the albums and stuff like that. But I was like, wow, you can do this all. You can. You don't have to. And if the passion's there, you'll figure it out. And that's what happened. I was like, hey, Chris, can I borrow your bass? I learned how to play bass by writing the record. I was learning more about pedals by writing the record. I was learning about how drums work and how to make things make sense by writing the record. It was pretty much like, it was awesome. Yeah. It was scary at the same time because I'm like, am I writing the same song over and over and over? But I wasn't. And it was just so cool to just do this because for me, it's like, it lets me know, again, being a person that's busy, I can do another thing that's really cool. And it let me know that whatever I can do next will be great because after this album's out, maybe I'm talking too much ahead of myself, but I actually want to work with like an executive producer.
Oh shit!
Like I want someone to help me bring the concept closer.
Bring your ideas.
Yeah, like
to what
to help.
Could be realized.
I couldn't recommend it enough. Honestly, get you out of your head.
Yeah, because like my only soundboard was my room, our house, our bedroom, me and my wife. If she was, and that was when Fortnite was still a thing on iPhones. So she was playing, and she'd be like, sounds good, beep. and I remember when I first showed her Sundancer, she was like, did you record that? I was like, you saw it every single day.
Like you were here.
Yes. So it was definitely like, I was like, I guess I can do this. If somebody that isn't as involved in music, like my wife, and sometimes I have to ask her, I'm like, how do you think of me as a musician? She's like, I like what you create. Maybe I just think that you're really cool. And I like, find you attractive, but like I like what you create. Like if I didn't see you, I would like what you do. And I was like, that means
good. A lot.
Yeah. And then sending it to people and stuff. Like I sent it out to a couple of friends and stuff. And another one of my favorite movies is Nocturnal Animals. Have you ever seen it?
Yes.
No.
Listen, as a creative person, you need to watch it because it gives you the perspective of watching how certain relationships can fall apart and not be fixed. And how you can leave that person with revenge. And pretty much this guy, he was like a failed writer, really bad. And he had this relationship with this girl who was like, I believe in you. I want you to succeed. But then her family's in the back of her ear, like, he's broke. Right. You need to go with this boy who has money, a future, and where you can have babies and all this stuff with. And it kind of ends with like him writing the tale where he's taking this girl that he fell in love with and he rips her apart left and right.
The book is called, so he writes a book about her and it's called Nocturnal Animal. And it's like
how much of a beast you can be, I think, or something like that.
It's Amy Adams? Is that her name?
I don't know. My wife tells me
I'm a big fan of revenge. Just that as a concept.
It's a really good movie. Tom Ford directs it. So like it's got everything in there that, you know, a guy like him would put. He puts like symbolistic things in there. I'm gonna probably go watch it tonight because I really want to watch it. It's
I watched
based
it
off
tonight
of,
too, honestly.
It's on Amazon Prime.
It's on
I think.
Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
I think so.
Because they moved it from HBO Max. I was trying to find it.
I'm pretty sure it's on. We saw Ethan and I were watching something yesterday, and it was like on the. I was like, oh shit.
Just scrolling by it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty Amazon Prime. Check it out.
Yeah,
Pretty
because
sure
I
it's
feel
on
like
there.
if anybody has like a creative passion for anything, a movie like this is something that you should watch because we've all been in relationships or been around people that, you know, they support you to an extent to where they feel like there's no point or they don't see your vision. So like you kind of got to like let them go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like sending, and then back to like me sending the song, like the reason why I say that is because like in the character that Jake Gyllenhaal plays, he's like, you don't understand what it's like to put yourself out there so many times and get rejected. He's not talking about relationships. He's just talking about his passion.
Yeah.
And as an artist or a musician, you're not really seeking validation for what it is that you create, but in a way, it gives you an idea of like what the public thinks about it. Like, I forgot who said it because I listen to a lot of like track by tracks or people talking about songs and stuff. And they're like, send it to the person that doesn't know you.
Right. Yeah.
Send the song to somebody like how you guys checked out the song. You know, you guys don't know me personally. But you got to hear it and you got your own perspective versus like how my wife's just like, I think you're pretty cool.
Right.
So I already think what you made.
It's super important because like a lot, those people don't really have a reason necessarily to be like overly
to praise
nice
you
or like there's no outside factors because definitely just like being friends with you, even if like you don't like it, it's not your cup of tea. You're gonna be like, yo, it's sick, man. Like I love it.
Yeah.
Whatever, but like you're definitely gonna have that.
And you know, it's crazy too. You'll still send it to people and they'll give you those reactions because that means that they're not really listening. They're just more of like, oh, you sent me a song, sounds great.
Sick,
but then I'll send it to some people that are like, bro, like I wrote this song that it's the last song that made it on the record. It's called Hallucinate. I don't know exactly what it's about, but I'm going to say it's about like Sasuke from Naruto.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it, but I just think of him when I wrote the song. And I sent it to one of my friends and she's like, it's very Radiohead-like. It's very moody, puts you in a trance. And she's like, this is really good. And I was like, I wrote it in 2 days, just 2 days. And it's just me, bass, guitar, vocals. I just went at it and I was just like, it was really cool to get an outside perspective of somebody that doesn't really know your work to give you something that you're like, okay, then I'm on the right page if the regular public can get to enjoy it. So yeah.
So I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
You do.
Yeah. We
just own it.
So we have an issue.
Oh, you do.
Oh.
And the issue is that it's come up a couple of times whenever we have somebody interesting on.
Okay.
We can talk forever.
Oh, we're running out of time.
Oh, yeah.
Did it do the thing again?
I heard the beep twice.
So I'll break the fourth wall a little bit. We're at an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I which upsets me because I have so much more I want to talk about.
Well, we can talk about it off.
Yeah.
Or we'll have you back on when more stuff drops, when the rest of the album drops.
Because the issue of running an hour show whenever we have anybody who's remotely interesting, especially somebody who has as much as you, like it's just like we could do this show for 3 hours and still just be like, yeah, it's crazy, and like, just keep talking.
I have a lot of stories, especially one thing I'll add is like being a black man in the music scene of Virginia Beach and trying to. Because people kind of think like, oh, great, this dude's about to start rapping. And then I start singing. And they're like, first of all, he sings. Second of all, that high. And he's on key and all that stuff. And it was just like, that was one thing me and Chris, because he wanted to add in like a Taking Back Sunday element. Like, the singing and then the singing. Or we switch places.
Yes, I love that.
And it was really cool because it gave me a vocal break and I appreciate it. And sometimes he would start the song and then sometimes I would start the song. But it was really cool because we just like, noticed that in the scene too. Like we wanted to just play the music that we like. Like one of my favorite artists of all time is Sade. I love her music. I'm obsessed with her. I'm actually trying to get a tattoo of her soon.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
My wife said that's the only woman like that's it. She's like either my name or our children's name in the future and all that stuff. But I'm obsessed with her music. There's a song with the guest vocal on there that let's say when we get off of this, I can show you guys some of this music and stuff. But it's definitely Sade inspired. And again, I played everything on there except for the saxophone and her singing and stuff.
That's awesome.
And she sang into the mic just the same way. I actually had to get her vocals right. I was like, you're too close. You're too far. Stay right here. If you're going to sing, you're going to have to stay right here, okay? But yeah, so yeah, are we almost out of time now?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and call it there. There's so much more that we could get to, and I'm sure we have plenty of reason to bring you back on in the future, maybe whenever the album is coming out.
Yeah, I'm predicting early summer.
Nice.
Okay.
Before
fantastic.
something else arrives. Again, I can't talk about it.
Okay.
But
No problem.
I wanted to make sure to get this out of the way before that came into play.
Nice. Okay.
Because I was
makes
like,
sense.
yeah. So yeah.
One last thing before we go. Have you ever heard of the band Ariel Pink?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, so we listened to your song the other day, and I was like, "This reminds me of Ariel Pink," and they're
I hope
fucking
I'm not
sick.
copying.
No.
I really hope I'm not.
You're not copying. It's just another sick band. So I was like, "This reminds me of that," and it's good. So
Cool.
That's it. I just didn't know
and
if
then
that was
another thing too, on this album, there's a lot of flavors of different stuff. Like
That's awesome.
there's heavier stuff. I don't scream. Never could do it. Tried it in the band. Didn't work. But like heavier stuff, sensual stuff, acoustic stuff, more, I don't know. I don't want to say dream pop because I don't know how that works.
A nice variety.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But I definitely wanted to hit all my musical tastes and stuff on this record because I felt like it's one thing to sound like one song over and over and over, but
Right.
like try to add in all your influences because I feel like as a musician, you're not just inspired by this one band. Maybe
Yeah.
that one band made you want to get into music, but what makes you love music is this
Culmination
artist,
of- yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
everything. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely albums that have like a mixture of or even if like one album has a similar sound and the next album can be vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
If you can pull that off, I respect that so much just
Yes.
because it's clear that it's not just about I want to be in a metalcore band, but it's like or a rock band or whatever. It's
It's like your growth as an artist.
yeah, it's just like I
do
want
feel
to make
weird.
music and this is the sound I was feeling right now.
I do feel weird when it's like metalcore bands do make that huge change, even though I do like it because there's this band 100th. They went from
They did the
the
jump.
super change, right? They what did they do? They were like hardcore.
They were hardcore.
They were a
metalcore,
hardcore
yeah.
band. I'm talking about like just like miking your face.
Mhm.
You know,
Angel Dust did it too.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
they were a hardcore band, and then now they're shoegaze.
yeah, and that's what they did. They were like shoegaze. Now they're like have this dream pop indie sound, and I love it. I love it. So good.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm making the
Oh my
decision.
God.
Okay.
Nobody
Oh my
else can
God.
talk anymore.
Okay.
We're gonna keep. I'm telling you, remotely interesting. It's just like no, we can just talk. So, all right. Thank you so much for coming.
course.
Thank you so much for sending the song. We love it. It's coming out. Well, it'll be out by the time that this is out. So
On the 26th of April.
on the 26th of April, this will be coming out on the 28th. So go check out
Go
the song.
listen.
We'll try to link
on
to everything. and-
Bandcamp. I'm not allowed to put it on Spotify yet. That's what I was told because I have to wait till the album's finished because paying for an album and distributing it costs the same amount to put the album
As
a
one
single.
single.
So I was
annoying,
like,
right?
yeah. So I was like, hey, here's Bandcamp. So
Yeah.
it'll be
We'll
out
be sure
there.
to link it
Yeah.
in all the socials and stuff like that.
Go
Sweet.
check out his art. His
Oh,
music.
yeah.
Art, the music, the eventually a new coloring book will come out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then
I
a
will
new
I will be
book
one of the people
eventually.
buying it.
Yeah,
And the
I'm
book.
very excited to potentially.
And who knows what else? So,
I don't know.
all right. Well, thank you
keep
so much for
listening.
being here. Thank you everybody
thank you.
for tuning in. We will see you next time. Peace.